YouTube, what is popping? What's going on? It's your boy J Wave with Wave Fit. That's the brand Wave Fit. My channel is basically, bringing value to yourself, building yourself to increase your value to the world. Mostly and mainly by, working out. Increasing your nutritional value, making better food choices, basically just transforming your body, whether it be calisthenics, working out in the gym, any type of heavy lifting, anything dealing with athleticism to physically build your body and to also mentally build your mind as well. Just to give everybody a glimpse of what my channel is about, I'm also here to build mental health as well. That's number one. That's very important. I'm a big advocate for that. So I always believe that you have to have your mind and emotion in a positive state if you're going to interact with the outside world. So that's a little bit about what my channel is. But today's topic is why they envy. Why they envy. So, by now everybody knows that, I work out, I'm a fitness athlete. It's a part of my life, it's a part of my lifestyle. I eat, sleep, breathe, fitness. Anything mental activity, physical activity, it's a part of my life. I have a daily regimen, I have a specific diet, and I stick to it daily. It's a part of my lifestyle. Now, one thing you have to know is that when you start your journey, there will be doubters. There's going to be people that will downplay or down talk your journey. They're gonna kind of throw shade at at the things that you have accomplished, because they lack the inability in themselves to even do a quarter of what you're doing. So the easiest thing to do is to hate on somebody else and to down talk somebody else. And in this video, I'll give you examples of ways that people may do that, which may seem subtle, and you may not catch it, but definitely you can actually feel like the envy coming from those people, especially the people closest to you. For myself, I've been working out all my life, but I'll say I've been locked in for 8 years, as far as my journey, and I love the journey. Everything that I've learned, mistakes that I've made, I'm here. So, I've had friends, close friends, they would see different things that I do, different routines. I wake up in the morning. Me, I like taking walks, long walks for maybe a couple hours. That's really how I started my journey, just getting myself, into things. Some people, they'll give you praise, they'll big you up. But, I've run into the people that's like, oh, why do you always have your shirt off? I'm not gonna be in the vicinity with you that if you always got your shirt off, like the insecure stuff. And I'm like, first of all, a real man does not care what other people think, first of all. Second of all, why is another man so baffled about another guy having his shirt off if your physical is up to par? And I've heard silly things like, You know, there's other, why you always walking around wearing a tank top, or, you know, there's other people. Somebody said something real dumb, like, that, you know, other people are, I guess, secretly thinking in their head, like, why is this dude always having a, I'm like, you know, that's just somebody like in their head, and it's the insecurity coming out, you know. And 9 times out of 10, the person that is speaking like that has 1 or 2 body frames, a frame of a 10-year-old child, or they're so overweight that they haven't seen their private parts in God knows how long. It's funny, it's always the people that is out of shape, weak, doesn't have the discipline, that has the audacity to talk down on people that are. And my thing is, like, you know, if you have those inequalities in yourself, you owe yourself the due diligence as a man to, you know, get yourself together. As if anything, I should be motivating. And it's real sad because it's a form of, you know, trying to break down somebody that's doing something positive. You know, most of the time I brush it off because, you know, I'm strong-minded to know that I've never dropped to a low vibrational level to where I go back and forth with somebody that doesn't have the common sense to build their self up. And you know, it kind of, in a way, kind of eats them alive, because like they see that, you know, I'm elevating, I'm growing, and that they also see that I'm not dropping down to their level. So it kind of puts them in a position to where they feel like they have to, you know, try and you know, talk down on things, you know, that I'm doing, you know. For years, I've had family members, close family members, see me, you know, in the fitness realm, you know, trying to get myself together. And with me, you know, like me, like I've always had a fit physique, but you know, I've had a time, a short window of time where I was out of shape. And you know, I mean, not completely out of shape to where I was like a fat slob. I'm 150 right now, so the biggest I've ever been, I'd say around maybe 215. But it didn't show like ridiculously like out of shape, because like it, you know, kind of took up in my arms. Maybe you know, around my stomach, of course, it was out of shape, but it wasn't like ridiculous. And you know, my back area, you know, I'm 150 right now, and that's straight muscle, like muscle mass. Like literally, I easily have less than 10% body fat, easily. But you know, back then, I was like maybe like 19, 20, 21 years old. I, you know, didn't have the knowledge that I have right now. You know, my diet wasn't crazy, but I wasn't, you know, really making like the best choices. But yeah, I've had family members say, "Oh, you're skinny, you're withering away, you look like a toothpick." But I mean, these are the same people that with 35 to 40% body fat that looks absolutely disgusting. And in my head, I'm thinking they've got to be joking. Did you look at yourself? And you know, some people, and they would think that just because that they're older, that you have more knowledge, which is completely wrong. There's a lot of people that are older that literally has no self-awareness at all, no self-awareness of themselves. Like a lot of time, age that doesn't mean wisdom. You know, there's a lot of ignorant people running around, and you know, there's a lot of older people that feel a way about younger people teaching them something. It's all about, you know, their ego. They have low ego, low self-esteem, and you know, you can hear it, you know, in their voice. You can see the interactions. The same people telling me about, you know, me being skinny, being too skinny, me withering away, I'm being too slim, are the same people that have cupcakes in their refrigerator. They got cookies in the cupboard. They got red velvet cake in the cupboard. They have high sugar juices, like high calorie juices in their fridge right now. They ordering pizza, ordering Chinese food. But then they would keep a couple pieces of fruit just to sit in the corner, just to make it look like they're have a substantial kind of diet. And the same type of people don't even have a bottle of water in their house. I mean, if they do, it's all for aesthetic. So, you know, I've had people that has the worst shape like ever, that, you know, would literally try to down me. Well, the thing is that, you know, those type of people, they feel that being big means being fit, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You know, I've heard people say, oh, you know, I'm big, you know, I was this, yeah, like, you're big and you're unhealthy. Your insides look like shit. I see, I'm not a heavily profane person, but like, your insides look like garbage, you know. You lack discipline. You absolutely have no idea of what your calorie deficit is and what your intake is. Being big means absolutely nothing. Being healthy is everything. You could be as big as you want, but you're not able to even run for 5 minutes straight without, you know, huffing and puffing. Like, having muscle and no mobility means absolutely nothing. Whatever, you know, regimen that, you know, certain people take in order to make themselves feel like, hey, I'm big, so that means I'm fit, is absolutely wrong. In this day and age, you have to be very careful where you take advice from. And, you know, also remember that the people that closest to you will talk down on you. They will try to tear you down and discourage you. But, you know, as, you know, a big person that does talk down on fit people, you know, I would say that they're afraid to get fit because, like, they know that all of that mass that they do have on them is fat mass. So they're afraid to lose that because they feel that, because they don't have the mental capacity to build actual muscle mass. So, like, if they lose all of that fat mass, then guess what? They're gonna be slim too, you know. But somebody that does have a little bit of knowledge knows that you can cut and gain at the same time. But, you know, like I said, there's a lot of ignorant people in the world. People envy you all the time, you know. It's just, you know, the way that it is, the way that the world is. Me, I like to go to the Beltline. I love the Beltline, the Atlanta Beltline. I love to walk. I love to show my physique off. I see women staring at me literally from the time I get out my car to the time I'm leaving the Beltline. Like they can't resist. Not saying that in a cocky way, like it's, you know, part of body thing, you know. Your physique speaking for you before you even open your mouth, you know. I've seen females walking with their partner on the belt line, and it's the point now where they're just dead staring at me, regardless of their partner being next to them. Like, especially in Atlanta and this day and age, like when females are a lot more bolder, they're literally showing the illest respect to their partner, their boyfriend, or whoever, and literally staring me down. It's to the point where one time I was walking on the belt line and minding my business as usual. I could hear a couple behind me, kind of fussing. I want to assume, I'm not sure if they're a couple or whatever, they argued like they were a couple, but needless to say, I'm walking, so, they're riffing, going back and forth, and then out of nowhere, the female walks up to me, stops me and says, "Hey sir, I just wanted to let you know that I could tell you have the type of physique that you put the time in, you have a positive mental capacity, you display discipline, basically just bigging up and, noticing, the work that I put in based off of, my physique." And it kind of, I appreciated those words, but it still kind of threw me off a bit because I'm like, okay, didn't you just have a riff with, your partner or whoever that person is? Things like that, if that guy was insecure, that would have potentially caused an issue. So I'm thinking, okay, is she putting me in a situation to where if that person is insecure or feels a way, I may have to, do something to defend myself or to get out of that situation. But I'm walking and I'm receiving, the flowers, and I'm like, thank you, I appreciate you, thank you very much, you all have a good night, and I just kept it pushing, things like that. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of females that do think like that and may want to walk up to me and say something, but may feel kind of intimidated. But like I said, I'm not an intimidated person. I'm not. And I don't, like to intimidate people. I'm not an intimidated person. I'm a people person. I love meeting people. I get along with everybody. So, I mean, it's gonna happen in your journey. You're gonna have people that's envious of you. You're gonna have people that's gonna try you. You're gonna have people that's jealous of you. That's just what the game is, So, and that's it, right now, like I said, just stay on your journey, stay positive, don't even, you don't even have to think about, the folks that are on your level. As long as you're focused on your journey and you're inspired the people that are inspired by you, that's all you really need, so. But, that's all I got for y'all today. Like I said, they will all envy you, but you have to keep yourself, moving in that positive direction. And y'all stay blessed. Like I said, my name is J Wave. This is Wave Fit. I'm gonna have many more videos to come out. I'm gonna, stay consistent and just keep popping out content. It's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna want this information and that's gonna need this information. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great morning and peace out.